नमस्ते, मैं हूं अक्षत एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ट्यूनिंग इन टू माई व्लॉग। लाइक अ प्रोफेशनल रिव्यूअर मैंने नोट्स बनाए एक्चुअली जब हम देख रहे थे पिछले कुछ दिनों में दहन, राकन का रहस्य। बहुत सारे जॉनर्स इसमें मिक्स किए हुए हैं। जॉम्बी है, सुपरस्टिशन है, साइंस है। आई वोंट कॉल इट सूडो साइंस, इट एक्चुअली काइंड ऑफ मेक सेंस। ब्रेन न्यूरो साइंस है। तो मुझे वॉचेबल लगी काफ़ी ये, एंड आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड डायरेक्शन फॉर इंडियन ओ टी टी प्लेटफॉर्म्स टू गो। क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि ऐसे सीरीज को देखने के बाद नॉर्मल जनता, मतलब नॉर्मल इन द सेंस जो अभी भी थोड़ा अंधविश्वास रखते हैं, उनको थोड़ा सा मौका मिलेगा अपने अंधविश्वास को तोड़ने का। राइट। तो तोड़ने से याद आया कि इसमें जो मेन कैरेक्टर मैं बोलूंगा वो एक चट्टान है। इट्स अ ह्यूज रॉक जो टूट जाती है, दरार पड़ जाती है जिसमें, जिसके कारण काफी लोग बौखला जाते हैं एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट। ओके, तो लेट मी स्टार्ट बाय सेइंग कि सौरभ शुक्ला जी जो हैं वो बहुत ही ऑसम मैक्स एक्टर हैं, and I love him, and I love Pankaj Tripathi, whose criminal justice new season is going on right now, and I love Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Manoj Bajpayee, of course. You can see a pattern here, can't you? Okay, but I loved Irfan, RIP, but nobody really knows what's going on in the future, what's going to come in the future. Like I say in my sports highlights shorts, the past is mystery, the future is history. No, actually I got that wrong. The past is history, the future is a mystery. Okay, so let me continue with Dahan, Raakan ka Rahasya. And oh, I forgot to mention Sanjay Mishra ji, हमारे बहुत हुआ सम्मान वाले thespian. Okay, so there's a little bit of melodrama which is to be expected in any OTT series, and I have to give a shout out to the subtitling, which is getting better as you know the series are coming out. The subtitling levels are just getting higher, man. Like the example I've written down is that Dadagiri is translated into high-handedness. So that's very good subtitling teams. Well done. I mean, there was a time when somebody mentioned to me that some friend of theirs was getting into subtitling, and I was like, wow, that would be a job I would be great for, because I would love to watch and then write down what I am watching, translate the dialogue. Maybe they don't watch it, or now maybe they've started watching it while they are writing it, so that it's not just a literal translation or a Google Translate if they're really lazy, but an actual contextual subtitling of the language. Okay, so with that, let's get on to one of the favorite things I noticed. So, one of the main things in this series is that a mining corporation is digging into some archaeological, historical site which is sacred to the local population. And of course, they don't want to upset the demon that has been captured there by their ancestors, and they are taking care to make sure it doesn't get out and wreak havoc on the world. But of course, that has to happen. Where else will the drama come from? So the mining corporation's manager over there is named Moria. And Moria are the mines in Lord of the Rings, which were written by J.R.R. Tolkien. Of course, you can check out my other videos about that. तो लॉर्ड ऑफ द रिंग्स तो बहुत ही बढ़िया ऑसम मैक्स बुक है, सीरीज है, माइथोलॉजी है, एंड उसको अमेजॉन प्राइम वीडियो पे अभी पोर्ट्रे कर रहे हैं. Oops. Okay, that's an unknown number, so I'll call them back. That broke my flow. All right. Anyway, so Mines of Moria, right? So the manager of the mining company is called Moria, and I thought maybe, just maybe, that's a subtle shout out to Tolkien, whom I love and who deserves to get all his works transliterated onto the screen so that new generations can continue to enjoy them. Because I know for a fact कि लोगों को पढ़ने की आदत तो अब काफ़ी कम रही है, which is a bad thing. I mean, that's my personal opinion. You might differ, and let's agree to disagree. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Am I right? All right. So Then there is biblical stuff that is referred, I mean not literally biblical, but जैसे हमारी mythology में महाभारत, रामायण, पुराण, इन सब में भी होता था कि पक्षियों के झुंड आकाश से मर के गिर रहे हैं, या मछलियों के पूरे समुंदर या तालाब मरी हुई मछलियों से उभर रहे हैं. So these kind of things are shown, and they have tried to tie in that scientific thing that I was saying at the beginning. One of the things जो इस series में mix कर दी गई है. So they've tried to give it a sort of a rational undertone as well. And in the end, of course, मतलब I won't say spoilers alert, because come on, कौन सी ऐसी series है जिसमें good hasn't won over evil, and that includes Lord of the Rings as well. So it's obviously inevitable that the heroine, played by Tiska Chopra, who has done a good job. I mean, like I said, melodrama तो थोड़ा चाहिए, नहीं तो audience कैसे hook होगी. But even apart from that, I think the story and the setups were good, and overall the series pretty watchable. So if I were to recommend it, I would say you should watch it. If first of all, if you're not squeamish, अगर आपको थोड़ी घिनौनी चीज़ों से नफरत है, अगर आपको मार काट और ये सब नहीं अच्छा लगता, तो भैया आपसे ना हो पाएगा, ठीक है. That being said, they got in a bit of good visual stylist for the cinematography and for some of the sequences which are shot point of view, and the point of view looks like it's a video game character. So it's kind of like when I used to put on VR goggles and play a game. So that kind of a first person view is used in a few sequences, and one extended sequence which is an action sequence, which was, I think, like I said, a good way for OTT platforms, and of course Hotstar is funded by Disney, and they are not holding back on the budget, let me tell you that at least. So it's good to see that they are taking, they are not just churning out stuff just like that. I just clicked on something. I mean, I started the first episode of something called, I don't know, Becharo or something like that, Bevkoofo. I don't know what it was, what the name was, but it was absolute unwatchable crap. Okay, so glad that this Dahan series is not like that. It's pretty watchable. Okay, so coming to my next point, and just a side note, by the way, that in one of the dialogues, T Usha is called out, and there were a couple of other references about some really good stuff as well, which I guess I will come to in half a minute. Okay, so I guess the series has done a good job of coming up with a plot that actually tries to awaken rural India and backward parts of India into getting into the reality of technology and of science, and starting to leave behind the bad parts of our mythology and our rituals and customs which might be detrimental to society, like beating people, thinking that they are possessed by ghosts or demons, and subjugating lower castes or women to atrocities just for the sake of carrying on so-called traditions. So that doesn't need to be done anymore. All right, and I think that this is the silver screen or even the big screen is a good way to sort of move our society upwards and onwards from those bad parts. The good parts, of course, we must continue. We must embrace what Indian culture has stood for so many centuries, and we must take the best parts and reinforce them, and not keep on continuing with the bad parts. All right, some ecological conservationism is also thrown in. सोन चिड़िया, I think Great Indian Bustard जिसको बोलते हैं, उसका दिखाया गया है कि वो like I said, flocks of birds are killing themselves and stuff like that. तो एक ऑर्निथोलॉजिस्ट या इकोलॉजिकल कंजर्वेशनिस्ट कैरेक्टर भी है जो कंट्रीब्यूट करता है थोड़ा वो साइंस वाला एलिमेंट स्टोरी में लाने का. एंड फाइनली, लाइक आई सेड, zombies. I mean, it's an acceptable introduction of zombies into the plot, and they bite. If a zombie bites you, you get infected and you uh, also become a zombie. But Tiska Chopra's character does not, because she is apparently naturally immune to zombism. Wow, what a nice plot device. Oh, that rhymed. All right. So, apart from the superstition and the science used to crack the superstition apart, and there is some suicide-related mental breakdown issues that are explored mainly because of the post-traumatic stress in the lead character's mind, and her husband commits suicide because of his illegal activities, and the son blames the mother for that, and the mother is hopped up on pills, at least at the beginning. She gets hallucinations, लेकिन son को बिल्कुल कोई मतलब son also steals her pills, but he also strikes up friendship in the most unlikely places, like he goes to the small town in Rajasthan where this entire series is set, और वहाँ के लोकल बच्चों से पहले इट्स दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ थिंग कि पहले वो इसको थोड़ा बुली करते हैं, नो अदर वर्ड फॉर इट, बट soon they are all like thick as thieves, and they help him get out of a kidnapped situation. Corruption and greed for power. All right, so all these kind of things are closed off at the end, not hurriedly. I would say 9 episodes was slightly too long, but overall there was good there were a few good shocks in between. In fact, one of the major turning points was that a major character who was built up from the start, midway through the series, whoosh. So some, like I said, some good shocks again. Awesome Max subtitling, including this one that I have noted down. I will carry out your orders to the T, and to the T I found out means to the tittle, which was an old English thing, which is where this idiom came from. And I guess there is no exact translation for it in Hindi. I don't remember what they said in Hindi which translated into this in the subtitles, but subtitling team, awesome axe job. Okay, Super Commando Dhruv. Alright, so Super Commando Dhruv was a character in the comics, Raj comics I think, that I loved in my childhood. He was an orphan who was brought up in the circus, and he had a motorcycle, and he could do awesome max gymnastics. He wasn't super powered as such, but he was like just basically extremely fit and stuff. And I think his adopted family's sister, his sister in his adopted family also turned out to be some sort of a Catwoman lookalike, not super powered, but vigilante, I would say. And in one memorable comic, I think he went down under the sea, or he was doing something under the sea, and he helped out some Atlantis type people, and they gave him a piece of equipment that helped him breathe underwater also, and he fought off enemies who were kind of rip-offs of Western villains like Mossman and stuff like that. But I mean, what do you expect? Inspiration has to come from somewhere, right? Okay, so that is kind of bringing me towards the end of my review of Dahan. I will say that Saurabh Shukla is in Shamshera as well, which I started watching, but we couldn't quite, maintain our straight faces to go through it. Maybe we will, I don't know. That's the best part about OTT streaming platforms. Like I've said in my previous videos, feel free to check them out. And last thing I will say, I always love that in zombie movies, one major character who is going to become a zombie because he's been bitten, he or she has been bitten or whatever, scratched, and they will regain their mind for that precious moment in which they will tell the actual lead character, I will save you from the oncoming horde of zombies by sacrificing myself. And they'll pull the trigger, or the boom goes the dynamite and their lead character is saved so that they can go on and save the world. So with that, Dahan didn't really it didn't make me laugh as much as other OTT series sometimes do, because it was kind of well conceptualized and pretty well executed as well. So with that, I will bid you adieu. I'm Akshat once again. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've already subscribed, my eternal thanks to you. If you haven't, smash that subscribe button, man. What are you waiting for? And if you're a fellow Marveler, Excelsior! And check out my She-Hulk mid-season review as well. I posted it while I was downstairs a few days ago. So thank you so much once again for watching. I'll leave a link to the playlist of my OTT and movies reviews in the description. Feel free to tap that and tap that subscribe button for awesome Max fun. Thanks once again for watching. Namaste, take care and stay safe. I'm Akshat, signing off.